Welcome back, guys. It's Del here. Today, we're going to check out a kit with some Universal Century styling, more specifically Advance of Zeta, with the 1/100 Asgard. And as always, I got this kit from Gundamit.com, my go-to place for third-party and independent release kits. And whenever you're over there checking them out, be sure to go in that top left-hand corner and type in supporter code DEL. Whenever you purchase stuff, it just gives me points. So it helps out the channel with no additional cost to you. Well, besides hurting your wallet's feelings by buying more plastic. But thank you, and the link will be in the description. Now let's get back to that review. Alright, so opening the box, we are greeted with a total of 42 runners, a few more if you get the first batch bonus of the orange parts. 28 zinc alloy parts that will need some assembly, a screwdriver, and 12 screws. Now, this is a bit different, as most kits I've built with a metal frame, it's come pre-assembled. Not so with the Asgard, but putting together the frame was fairly easy, and you will have spare screws as you don't use all 12. The inclusion of its own screwdriver was nice, but I opted to use my own ratcheting screwdriver for an easy experience, but that's not required. Building the rest of the Asgard was a fairly smooth experience. Firstly, it has the build split up in phases. Phase 1 is assembling the inner frame of the kit. I love when companies do this. It has you get more familiar with the inner frame and how it works, while also letting you appreciate the engineering that went into it. This step also has you put together the inner frame of the backpack, as this mecha sure is packing some heat back there. Phase 2 has you putting the armor on, the Asgard, and the backpack. And finally, Phase 3 has you assemble the weapons and the action base. And with very easy to read instructions, this was a super easy build. Not only does it list the runners you need for each segment, it's color-coded as well, making it even easier while building. Everything here is color and part separated, the only stickers being for cameras, lenses, and under some of the clear parts to make them shine a bit more. There was plenty of undergating to clean up. The darker blue plastic tended to nub up a little bit worse than the lighter colors, but nothing out of the normal. Overall, this is a really good build that'll be sure to get you lost in the sounds of snips and snaps. Now onto some size comparisons so we can see just how chunky the Asgard is in comparison to other model kits. Alright, moving on over to those size comparisons. Starting off here, the Asgard comes at a head height of 8.66 inches, or 22 centimeters. Here the Asgard is next to the Intrograde Arc 78, the Master Grade Gundam Mark II, the Reborn 1/100 GPO4, the GPO2 by Phasalis, and the Lone Shadow. So this is definitely on your little bit taller end of 1/100 base model kits, which I'm a fan of. I like big, tall model kits. Alright, so getting into the accessories and what else comes with the Asgard. Let's go over the hands here first. This kit utilizes swappable fingers. So we got a pair of trigger finger hands. And we'll put that in there. Come on, dude. Got the trigger finger in there. Got the closed fist. And we got a pair of holding hands. Then we have a second set of hands for widespread dynamic. And there is a second set of fingers for these. Or maybe, do they go in here? I had problems getting up there. Yeah, okay. So these fingers only seem to fit into this one, and you have to use this one that's made for all the other kind of holding hands for this set of widespread open hands. So kind of weird. I kind of wish you got hands for each part so you don't have to swap fingers out, but I mean, at least we got swappable fingers, so, and they're pretty easy to swap out, so not really too big of a con there. So next up we get a pair of Beam Saber and Beam Saber effects. Beam Saber handles and Beam Saber effects. Okay, yeah, I got this. So we can take those previously seen holding hands And if we just move that thumb up out of the way, they literally just slide down into them. Thumb over. Hold in there too well. But they're in there and they're going to fall out. But there's also another option. You can see here underneath the front skirts of the Asgard, there's these little sub arms. And we can take that beam saber and just close the little grabber hand around it. And boom. You can have those being held, and those cool sub arms are very reminiscent of like the Hazel from Advance of Zeta. Very cool. Next we got the beam rifle. Looks very nice with all those cool little decals on there. It's got a magazine, which is technically removable, but you don't get a spare one or anything. And to mount this, so we got this little part right here. You can take this out and swap it over to change what arm you want it on. Because what that's going to do is we can get our trigger finger hand, bring the model kit over here, put the hand back in. Right here on the forearms are little slots. So we're going to take beam rifle,
goodbye.
Oh, there. Let's do it this way first. Get that into the hand by just laying the finger in there, slide it through, bring that thumb around, get on there, just like that. And then now we just plug that back in, slide it down in there, and there you go. There's him holding the beam rifle.
Goodbye.
Wow! What? I didn't even do anything. Hey, I should mention this while we're here. These little side skirts right here. So you're meant to store the beam sabers in here, but I really can't get that to work too well. If I did, these little side skirts just do not want to stay on there, no matter what I do, because they're meant to, like, you know, move like this. So you can grab the beam saber out, but they just pop off. Back on there for now. And the same thing with camera. Sorry. These back skirts too. They just don't stay on there too well. But we'll talk more about that later. I'm sure we'll have more parts fly off during the articulation segment. All right. Up next we have the shield and the shield rifle. That's what they call it in the instruction book, man. So we can take this and swivel it here. That's about all the articulation you get out of it. Which, I mean, it's just a shield. Anyway, it's going to attach to the arm. So what we need is take our left hand here, get those off, and we need our trigger finger hand again. Like that, we can pop that on. We have a big hand. Go. So just like before, I'm gonna get this slotted in there on the hand. We're gonna bring the Asgard over here, and we're going to this time. Okay, I'm just gonna take off the shield. We're going to plug that into the same spot where we plugged in beam rifle, but on the other side.
Goodbye.
Ah! Okay, so we're going to take the hand, we're going to plug it in, and then we just move that part down to the same slot that we plugged the beam rifle into, but, you know, on the other arm. And then we just take that shield. I hope I move the swords up a little bit, clear it, and we plug it on there. And there you have them all kitted out. All right, and here we have the backpack. There are some tolerance issues here with the metal and plastic parts, but this is a huge backpack. We got these little arms here that we can move this out in any way that we really need it to. We got this little fuel tank here that can move up and down. We got these wings or fins that you can pop down. I will say you might want to glue these dark gray parts on top because I seem to have lost one, and I really can't find it. Head and roll it out. Yeah, I have a lot of problems here with the backpack with this metal part here and this plastic part here. They don't really want to go in all the way or stay connected. Same thing either way. So that's something to look out for. Might want to glue that in there because it really doesn't it's not meant to articulate right there. It's supposed to go in there and stay in there. But we've got this cool little cockpit in here. These little turbines can spin. That's pretty neat. And here on these big thruster railgun type things, we can take this part and they can pull back like that to spread open a little bit. Reel the barrel. And we have another set of saw arm here up here on the top. And attaching this, we just got this little slot here on his back. You just plug that up. And there he is with the backpack. And he can stand up with the backpack on. Well, of course, he got an entire metal frame. I would hope he can. Up next, we have our action base. Nothing too fancy here. Okay. Well, he can stand with the backpack, but he is very back heavy when you do that. Okay. He lost his hand. Chilled, but that's fine. Really need to invest in a bigger workspace, man. Action base. So we do have a locking mechanism here. So because we can move this up and down, and when you get in the spot you want, you just click in. This on the other side. There you go. He's locked in. Push that in to unlock it. We got a switch right there to unlock it, going up and down. And that's about all the movement it's got. Pretty simple, but I mean, it gives you enough. And if you want to, secure him where he's not going to just topple over, there's a little slot here underneath the backpack on his back, and we just pop him in there like that. And now he's not going to fall over, so we got that action base. But there is another use for it. So if we come back here and remove the Asgard and we take off that backpack. Come on. Ugh, there we go. And we can take off this end right here. Not that way. Put that on there. Let's get this locked up here in a decent pose. And take this. And you can mount the backpack independently of the Asgard on the action base. Oh, it's not happy. Got sad. I was talking about him. Part calls yeah, that. There we go. It could be a little loose here on that, but hey, the option's there. It's still pretty cool. All right, going over the last little tidbits here. We have those extra runners. Originally, if you don't get the pre-order bonus, not pre-order bonus, first batch bonus. Sorry, you don't get the orange, so you'll get this blue. I did a poll on the channel. Everyone voted orange, so that's what I built, and I think it contrasts better than this blue does. But I do think this comes with every release, and it's these yellow parts to replace all the gold. So if you wanted to paint this kit and didn't feel like stripping the gold, they got you covered. Just use this yellow plastic, paint over it. So I like to see that. We got our full sticker sheet. There's 2 here I didn't use, but this wasn't too bad. Like I said in the beginning, most of this was just for lenses, cameras, and these parts right here were to go underneath the green segments, like here on the arms and the leg. So nothing too bad in stickers there. And something you might have noticed throughout this video is that I actually used a good amount of the water slide decals. I was like, you know what? I might as well. And I really think it brought a whole new look to the kit. Now, I will say these are pretty fragile. I did, Mark Setter and softer, and still had a couple of issues. Like you see right here, it's tore up here. I believe tore a little bit down here on the side of the leg, this back skirt here. And one of the really big issues I had was with the shield. So up here on this was all one huge decal, and there was parts up here that I ripped, but I think I managed to get on there and make it look decent. You don't pay attention to like a little extra that's there, but that's fine. I would say they're probably a little better than Bandai's decals, but still be very careful, and as always, top coat your decals after you put them in there. I haven't top coated this guy yet because we're in the middle of winter here and it's been cold and rainy and all gross outside. So yeah, get playing with this kit. As you can see here, I didn't even use all of them. There's tons of decals here for you to go wild with. Alright, so now we're getting to that articulation segment. With how many parts I can get, though, just fly off this guy during posing. For starters, we got a pretty good ball joint up here on the head. We got a 360 here at the arm. If you pull the arm out a little bit, we got a really good butterfly joint. Oh, awesome. These shoulders and arms are a little tricky. There we go. But the sword can move independently. And you have this little lifting top here to reveal some grenades and stuff there. And you can also untab these armor parts on the shoulder to give it a nice little expanded armor view. Replug that in. Move that up. These little thrusters here on the back can move. Side, I guess I should say. So we can get the arm out all the way. You can get up a little bit higher with the butterfly joint there helping. We got a nice double jointed elbow. Of course, we can swivel that bicep. Oh, number one. Got that bicep swivel. Here on the back of the arm, there's this little switch here. You can, whoop, it pops out those little blasters, or little railgun. I don't know what we call them. Got little arm-mounted weapons on each side of his arms. And on the hand here, we got you can rotate, and it's got a wrist swivel. That's nice. This kit has a opening, almost kind of an opening cockpit. There's really not much molded in detail in there, but it's nice to have. That back up in there and fold that down. We can go over the pretty good ab crunch this guy's got. We, of course, can swivel all the way around the waist. We got those front skirts, which are sub arms we went over earlier in the video. Get them out there like that. These side skirts are on a hinge. They're supposed to move like that. Like I said, they just come apart. That's like my biggest gripes. Is these side skirts are always coming apart. And now, on the leg here, it does have a dropping leg gimmick, but the problem you run into is that the leg is so heavy that it stays permanently in the drop down position. But we can get that leg up a good ways. We can bend it to show off some really decent armor separation there and show off more of the metal inner frame. We can get that leg out like that, and this is gonna pop up off again. So there we go. We got 2 parts off. Can move around here and get those back skirts up, which will let us get that leg out about yay far. We can swivel the leg a little bit. These very Mark II-esque little thrusters on the leg can move all the way around, and themselves are also on a hinge. Oh, 3. Got these little side parts here on the angle that can move. 4. And we got some pretty decent toe bend here. 5. Bend the toe. The foot itself has some decent movement in it. We got a really crazy ankle swivel if you get everything else out of the way. So, pretty good articulation out of the Asgard if you don't mind a couple parts falling off as you do so. That almost tried to come off. I actually almost forgot. Here on the back, you have some... I forgot to show this off. So... works here. Oh, there we go. 6, another one. So when you move the leg, the thrusters open, and you can also move the little back thruster here. That's where the thruster fell off. Don't keep it off for now. But yeah, as I was saying, pretty good articulation with a fairly solid metal inner frame. Nothing is too tight, but nothing is also just really loose either. So that is a W in my book. Yeah, we did have some part shedding though. But I mean, hey, it's a model kit. It's not a action figure. Alright guys, so we're heading here to the end of the review, and do I recommend this kit? Well, if you're a big fan of more grounded Universal Century styled kits, then this will be up your alley. It's a bit toned down from some of the other third-party offerings. It comes fully loaded with plenty of accessories and a very solid inner frame. For the price, it's a pretty good bang for the buck, with its decent plastic quality, solid aesthetics, and no major building issues to mention. As far as the downsides, it's going to have to be that its posing gets cut down with everything equipped. It can lead to some issues when moving parts. I had a couple more parts shed while posing this kit for the final shots here. And it's going to require a good bit of shelf space with the wide base and big backpack. But overall, I'm going to say I would recommend this kit, but it's not a must-have or anything. If the design is something that you like those more grounded designs than over-the-top, super robot stuff, I would say go ahead and pick it up. But if you happen to miss it, I wouldn't stress out too much about it. I do know they have some more kits lined up to come out, so I will be looking at those. But as always, guys, please remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content I'm putting out here. Until next time, you all take care.